Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Food, Wine, and Travel Show, where we go across country and travel the world with members of the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association. Let's go. So welcome, everyone. You know, every second Tuesday, we get to go to a destination that is part of the membership of the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association. We call them IFWTWA, and you can go to IFWTWA.org. And while you're doing those kinds of searches, also go to travelmedford.org. And that's where we're going to Medford, Oregon. It is in the heart of the Rogue Valley. And this area is all about wine, breweries, amazing food, nature, outdoor adventure, sports. Basically, it's the good life. And very excited to have Carole Skeeters-Stevens back on the show. So welcome back, Carole. How are you doing?
I'm great. It's just wonderful to be back. It's a beautiful time of year down here in Medford, so it's always fun to chat with you.
I think, it's exciting. It's like at that dog days of summer here. But are we in harvest time in your area?
No, I mean, we're planning for harvest. I mean, the winemakers are bottling. A lot of them are getting bottling right now, that end of season bottling. We normally start here mid-September, early September for some of those people that are doing the sparkling varietals. But, we've had a really great summer so far. So it's this long, nice, easy ripening season.
Good. So you think, yeah, that's going to be good for, how many wineries? Let's actually go back to that.
So right now we're flirting with about 85 is what I say, which is great. New ones, established ones. It's kind of a neat thing. I feel like we have this right now, this influx of like innovation and tradition that are coming together that just, it's like the old guard and the new guard, and they're coming together, and it's really fun.
So all of this is happening. So it's really getting bigger and bigger. 85 new, those have been there for a long time. So I love what you're saying about this innovation and tradition meeting. And how does that end up in the glass? Does that sound exciting?
It's pretty fun. We grow over 70 different varietals here, which is really neat. So, we're seeing people bringing stuff like Gruner Veltliner and like now all of a sudden, and it's like these traditional varietals of, Viognier, Tempranillo, Syrah, that they're still here, but people are planning, more Mourvedre. We're really seeing a lot more Rhone blends come out of here. We're seeing, just really, really neat innovation happening, but also, those steady Eddie wines that we love.
Oh, that's exciting. So at the same time, you also have breweries.
Yep.
So what's that scenery like? Like that scenery? That's the brewery scenery.
Well, we say it takes a lot of beer to make good wine. And so the wine community really supports the beer community. Here in Medford, we have Walkabout Brewing, which has just been a great base brewery here. They brew all their own stuff. They have a kind of an outdoor back park like area, real communal vibe. And then we're also having places like Tap and Vine Restaurant open up that are serving a ton of these local beers, and when I say local, I'm talking up, as far as Eugene and then maybe down to Ashland, like with our buddies at Caldera. And then they're also integrating tap wine into it. And so we're having winemakers and brewers coming together to kind of explore this tap option, which not only is good for the restaurants, but it's a more sustainable option for, for bottle service and all of that. You're putting, two cases of wine in a keg, and they're, in one keg, and it's reusable, right? So you're saving
awesome
bottles, and you're also getting really good quality stuff that's customized. And so if you want one glass of wine and one beer, you can go to places like Tap and Vine or like Kaleidoscope. And, we don't have a lot of brick and mortar. We have Common Block Brewing here as well in downtown. But what we do have is a lot of support for that brewery community in Southern Oregon and beyond.
Well, I think this is exciting. So you got the wine, the beer. I also know that you have, when wine and beer are going in a community, that means agriculture is thriving too. So that's another thing. And I know you have a big announcement to make. So I'm just going to put that little teaser there. Everybody wait. Wait. But the food scene is also very farm to table, right?
It is. We're home to Harry and David. They were established here in Medford. And I always look at them because, they've been here for 90 years. And so this valley is so lush, and it just can grow just about anything. And with the fertile valley, I mean, in the valley, people forget that it's like there. It's like, oh, is it dry? It's like, no, it's very, very fertile. So we have places like Fry Family Farm and Harry and David. And then we have a beautiful growers market here. It's called the Valley Growers Market. It was yesterday, and I wandered through there. And I mean, there is not a vegetable you can't find, from, very specialty like Asian crops to beautiful beets and tomatoes. My little
Wow.
buddy, he's 8 years old. He has his own corn patch. His name's Easton. And I bought 12 ears of corn from him for $10. He was really excited. So, I mean, if it's a farming community, people forget about that. It's where we started. We started in agriculture.
Yeah, and then that's how you get your wine and your hops. Do you actually have hops growing in that region, or is that having to be grown somewhere else because of the moisture?
Yeah, here in Oregon, most of them are growing up in the Willamette Valley just because of the temperature, the climate. They need a lot of water. They need a lot of water.
Yeah. Okay, so then it comes down, but people, I mean, it's still local Oregon.
Oh, it's still, I mean, and those farmers up there really work with the brewers to even, grow specific hops specifically for, like Caldera. I know Caldera works really closely with some of those Willamette Valley hop growers.
Oh, very cool. So now, okay, so you got the beer, you got the wine, you got the agriculture. What about cheese? Come on now, because cheese seems to go with everything. Do you have any local cheeseries or places we can buy at Harry and David? Is going to be the place for it?
We have the world's best blue cheese here in Rogue Creamery. Rogue Creamery right here, just down the road in Central Point, was the best cheese in the world. The best blue cheese in the world a couple of years.
Wow.
And it is a can't miss place to go in here. They make it all still here in Southern Oregon, right outside of Medford, and they make a smoky blue. And then their Rogue blue, they actually use grape leaves that they harvest from Troon Vineyard here in the Rogue Valley, which is a biodynamic vineyard. And then they soak those and they wrap their cheese in those. So their crew goes out, they harvest those with them. But the big secret for Rogue Creamery, the cheese shop, is their grilled cheese sandwiches. They make a grilled cheese sandwich in there that is to die for.
Wow. And what would you pair that with? Because I know you got a wine
Yep.
background, so I can ask you these kinds of questions.
I love it with a Tempranillo. I think that the Tempranillos
yeah,
down here, they
spice.
just come. Yep. And so, I mean, when people don't know about Tempranillo, I always say it's almost like a spicy Merlot, right? Because
Yeah.
it's so food friendly. And when they put in that blue cheese in there and they layer it with Coquette bread, that's the bakery right next door to Rogue Creamery, and then there's a little winery right there. It's just a match made in heaven.
This is a very cruel conversation.
I know,
'cause
I'm kinda getting
hungry and thirsty. We're recording this on Friday, y'all. And it's Friday afternoon where I am. And I'm going, why am I not having Tempranillo and blue cheese right now? So, and Harry and David has fruit and cheeses and the gift baskets. And we are heading in toward, I know it's hot, but we're heading towards that. So when we talk about all these foods and wines and brews, aren't we really heading into that food forward season of fall? And so that's what people can look for when they come through in the fall season, is to just have this really food centric experience.
Absolutely. I mean, I look forward to pear season with Harry and David. They have the best pears you will ever have. They're world famous. And I get a little bit of that Rogue blue cheese. I get a little bit of that pear. And it is like Southern Oregon in a bite. It's beautiful.
This is cool. Okay, so now you're talking about Rogue Creamery being the best in the world,
Yep.
So do you want to tell people like what just
will.
happened?
Announced it 2 days ago. The USA Today had a Reader's Choice poll that the Rogue Valley wine region was nominated for, and it was over a month. Readers across the United States and actually across the world were able to vote, and we finished second. So, we are very excited, out of 20 nominated wine regions, for the Rogue Valley to be acknowledged from such a major national publication in a Reader's Choice poll is very exciting for us.
I always think that. I think even artists, musicians, and actors, when it's the awards that are like the audience choosing versus the muckety mucks, not against the muckety mucks, but you know what I mean? It's like that's who they're catering to, that's their people. And when they say, hey, you kicked butt this year, that's a big deal. It
Yeah,
means more, I think.
it does. I mean, it's that validation that, I kind of say we're undiscovered, but we're more unexpected. Like you come here and it's like we're uncrowded, right? And you come and you can don't have to have reservations when you come here. And it's you can spontaneously visit our valley. And I think that people come here and they're so pleasantly surprised because they don't know what to expect. And so it's neat to get that word out so we can share our little piece of heaven down here with everyone.
That's cool. And so for the holiday season, it's a good place to go shop and you can sip and bite in between. You just had a big event too, right? A savor the area, like a savor event. What was it called?
It's
What
called Savor
happened?
Southern Oregon. We've
Okay.
always kind of had a wine centric event here in Southern Oregon. And a couple of years ago, that event went away, and there was a real hole in our community here. So we pulled together 50 wineries for what was a
Wow.
2-day event with Savor Southern Oregon. We had a VIP tasting on Friday night, which was more like reserve style wines. And then we had a grand tasting on Saturday and an educational course with some of the winemakers. And we also had a judged competition, which was great. We brought in 3 judges from across the United States and they judged about 160 wines. It was really exciting. I mean, they were blown away by the quality of our wines.
And so did you pair food with the wine things? Was there any food part of it or is it just solely wine?
We really focused on the wine for this.
Okay.
Yeah, there was always food there because you have to, like me, if I go to
Got a balance.
snacking and sipping, right? Uh,
Yeah.
and we worked with some local purveyors for that. And next year we hope to expand it to be able to bring in more of a food focus. I still kind of have a little PTSD from it. It was a lot of work,
I
but
bet.
doing it again next June as well. And it was such a great energy with all the wineries. And I mean, and I had kind of forgotten it. It's been a long time since we were all in the same room with the same cause. And it was old faces, new faces, and it was so heartwarming.
That's awesome. And that's awesome because isn't May Oregon Wine Month?
Yeah,
And
it
then you
is.
go into that. So it's like keep the ball rolling and then it starts getting close to harvest and people are traveling and everything. And I think people for your Southern Oregon, very easy to get to off of Interstate 5, right? And for those traveling to Crater Lake, that's another big deal. I mean, you're not that far from that beauty I mean, that's the jewel of Oregon, one of the many, I was just thinking as you were talking, I was just thinking about all these amazing experiences we've had in Oregon, and there's something about Oregon, and I think you have weather, you have some intense weather. I've been through that, but you have some beautiful weather, and at the same time, it seems so quality of life. And I think that's why you get away with eating and drinking so much wine in Southern Oregon is that you do so much outdoor activities. So you're all healthy. We need to
Yeah.
go get a little bit of that.
I know. I've spent a little bit of time on the Rogue River this summer, which is great. And, Crater Lake's 90 minutes away from here. And whenever I have anybody visit, we go up there. And it's my favorite part is watching somebody see Crater Lake for the first time because the pictures just don't do justice. I honestly believe you never will forget the first time you see Crater Lake. And every time you see it, it really takes your breath away. We're fortunate enough to be so close that we can take our time getting there and, stop at one of the, 15 waterfalls on the way there and bring a picnic lunch.
Mhm.
And we are surrounded by such beauty here. We're beyond fortunate.
So when you think of fall season, what is it like in the fall? And I want to go back to this picnic lunch idea because it's my favorite thing in the world is to be in nature. And when you were talking about Crater Lake, I just remember how extreme the blue and then there was snow when we were there. And that was in June when we went. And it was so drastic, extreme, but just incredible, immense, jaw dropping, majestic beauty that just will blow your mind. And it's true, you got to be like the world class photographer to really capture that in a way that it just, it's incredible.
Yeah.
You've just got to, you just have to go. And a picnic lunch with that view and the right people you can't beat that. So I want to get back to that. But
Right.
first, tell us about fall because I want people to understand that experience because I think fall, y'all, is pretty up there.
It's amazing. I think that Labor Day down here is just like, to me, for a lot of people, it signals kids going back to school and doing all that. For me, it's just like, it is that harvest feel. It is that there's a bit of a crispness in the air, but, we have over 200 days of sunshine here in Medford. And so it is blue skies. It is changing foliage. It is, less crowds, right? People are going back to school. They are going back to work, that kind of more busy time. And it's that I kind of describe fall here as that easy Sunday drive, right? You're just kind of like, where's the wind going to take me? Is it going to take me to Crater Lake? Is it going to take me to the Rogue River? Is it going to take me on a hike up the Table Rocks to see, the beautiful changing, or up Roxy Ann Peak? Or is it going to take me out to a winery to look at the vines changing and sip on new releases? And, it's just, to me, it's the easy, like, Sunday morning here.
And a little spice in the food, a
Yep.
little cinnamon in the coffee. I know the pumpkins. Do you get pumpkin people out there?
Yeah, yep, we do. I mean, again, super fertile, and our farmers market goes all the way through November. That's how fertile we are here.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. Farm fresh. This is cool. Okay, let's go to the picnic. All right.
Okay.
All right. What's in the picnic basket, and who do you want to take with you there?
Okay, well, I'm picnic basket. I will say there's a bottle of wine in it. Let's go ahead and start with
Okay. Are you only
Yeah.
one?
I know, I was going to say one white and
I'm
one.
thinking, what about this keg? I'm thinking of this keg, and if you have a lot of people, you might want to take the keg. You got a pickup truck. I don't know.
It's a
Mini
kegs. It's a party in a keg, right? I love to go to some of our local shops here. We have the Medford Co-op here, which is a great spot to go and get some fun little crackers and cookies, and and then I love some chips. I love some trail mix on there. And then I'll go to one of our local spots here. We have a place called Ruby's, which is just great. They have a wonderful breakfast burrito that I might throw in there for on the way there. I might stop at a local market of choice and get some, salads, and just, kind of, I like to throw a hodgepodge in there. You get your baguette, you get your cheese, you grab some meat, you grab some salad, and it's like, well, what do I feel like? And I throw it out on the picnic table. And I have to say, I'm a little bit of a picnic snob. Like, I like real silverware when I go, and I like, a little bit nicer of a plate. And so it's kind of like a bougie picnic there, but, pull off on the side of the road, say, hey, that looks like a pretty nice spot, and we do it.
I love it. That is how we travel. I mean, it is it. We do have silverware, but we don't get to be as fancy as that because things would break in our car after being on the road full time. But
Yeah.
I love it when we can go to a local sandwich shop that is an actual mom and pop sandwich shop. Like, it's family owned, that kind of thing. And they're going like exactly how you're talking about with the blue cheese sandwich and the grilled
Mhm.
sandwich, and the bread comes from next door. Like, I want that experience. And then you're eating it in a place where everything comes from. It's just the full Monty.
It is. It really
Crystal.
is. Yeah, I mean,
I did say Crystal.
we do. I mean, we just have so much abundance down here that sometimes it's hard to choose, right? You have to kind of narrow what you're doing. We have a little spot here in downtown called the Beatrice, and it's downstairs off of Main Street in downtown Medford, and they do amazing picnic stuff. And so I'll go in there and grab, one of their curry chicken salads or something like that and take it with me. Or they make a beautiful hummus, like a house-made white bean hummus. She's just great. She's been in the Valley forever. She was a CIA trained chef and wanted to start this kind of little, it really has that mom and pop feel. She has a silent book club that is there that you go in on Monday nights and you drink wine, and it's a silent book club, which is just awesome. So, it's supporting those people that
What's a silent book club?
you can't talk. You can't talk. But so what it is, it's a place to go.
But you can sip.
You can sip, right?
Okay, I'm in.
Megan Walk, who they own Hummingbird Estate, just right outside of Medford. She loves to read, and she goes and she has her glass of wine. And the great thing is nobody can interrupt you from reading, right? It's not like, oh, hi, it's so great to see you. You want to be around other people, right? But you don't necessarily want to talk to those people. So it's a really neat thing.
Because we all get interrupted, even at home. You get interrupted and you're like, dude, I'm reading. Yeah, but this is more important. No, it's not. If somebody just got murdered in my book, that's important.
I know. Wait 2 seconds. I have 3 more paragraphs.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, I know the blood is dripping right now. No, this sounds terrible, but I love I love a good mystery, okay?
Oh,
Murder mysteries in the vineyard, you know.
right.
Yeah, I actually just interviewed an author, Tori Eldridge,
Mhm.
who had a park ranger in Crater Lake. And the park ranger went to solve a mystery in Hawaii National Park area.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, just
Love,
yeah,
love
I'm
that.
thinking, I think she needs to be in the book club. I'm just
I
saying,
know.
since you got a Crater Lake connection.
I
But this
think
is so great. I like this. I like so all this food. What about people coming for the food experience? Are there bed and breakfasts or like places to stay? Or you like what's the, I know you have a lot of hotels because of the sports, right?
right. Yep.
But do you have like any lodgings that offer like a foodie thing, or those more the Airbnb where you are going to cook with things that you go to the farmer's market and from the winery and that kind of thing?
That's definitely an option. And we do have a lot of short-term rentals here that, you kind of can fit what you need. I mean, some of them have swimming pools, right? If you come into town with some kids and you just want them to be able to lounge and you want to read your book and give them something to do. Lady Geneva Bed and Breakfast is in downtown right by Hawthorne Park, and it is a beautiful, beautiful facility. And Gloria and her husband run that, and they are very in tune with the food and wine scene. A couple weeks back, we were at the local baseball game, and we have a little minor, not minor, but like a wooden bat league is what it is, called the
Oh,
Medford
okay.
Rogues. And here comes Gloria with her guests. She brought her guests with her, and they were from Texas. They were on their way from Texas to go and golf on the Oregon coast, and they stopped in Medford for a couple of days. And that's the type of hospitality you get here in Medford, is that, really like, come on with me. You find it in the restaurants, you find it in the wineries, you find it in the shops. People, they want to share their story with you, and they're so welcoming. It's something that really makes our community great here.
That's awesome. So for fall, any major events coming up? Because you've got to have like a harvest festival or something like that. I know farmers market for sure you want to go to, but
Yeah.
any major events that should be on people's radar?
The fun thing about the Rogue Valley is there's always something going on. We have a really neat live music scene here at the wineries. Any night of the week, you can find live music and go to do that. The Brit will be wrapping up here pretty soon, but Oregon Shakespeare Festival will run through September, and it's and it's just right down the road in Ashland. So we kind of describe ourselves as the launch pad, so you can stay and play here and then go visit these complimentary areas around here. So those type of events. And then, we will start to see the harvest dinners come about, and, the farmers markets, the pumpkin patches, the farm stands, and all of that. It's just that real kind of down home feeling that you'll get here in the fall.
Awesome. So everyone, travelmedford.org is the website. Go check it out. And definitely as you're traveling up that great highway, get off of it. I
Yes.
mean, really, we don't want to be on the big interstates for that long,
No.
you know? And even if you're doing the coast, that actually brings me to that, because I know if you're going in the coastal areas, especially even from Northern California up, there's redwoods in Oregon that you can go and visit and then get up to. You can detour.
Yeah.
Detours. They're the
Yeah.
best thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't follow everybody else. Make your own path, right? But just make sure Medford's on that path when you're doing it.
Of course, of
Yeah.
course. So travelmedford.org. Go enjoy some wines, some brews, some local flavors. And oh my gosh, we can't wait, because we're actually on our way to Oregon. As this airs, we'll be driving. We're on our
Wonderful.
way kind of right now, but I'm talking to you instead of being in the car, but we're slowly heading our way to Oregon. And we cannot wait to get back and drink some fine Oregon wine,
Sounds
just enjoy the beauty of that wonderful state that you have. So
yeah, well,
thanks so much. It's good to have you back on the show.
for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to Big Blend Radio's Food, Wine, and Travel Show, featuring members of the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association. We encourage you to visit their website. We say IFWTWA, which is IFWTWA.org. You can also follow us at bigblendradio.com. Happy travels, everyone!